It looks crowded, but it's not crowded. That's the crazy conundrum that we're faced with when we're looking at the crowd levels of the Walt Disney World Resort over the holidays. A mirage, you might say. Smoke and mirrors, some might suggest. Today we're going to explain why we're not in jest when we say that those crowds at Disney are artificially generated. We haven't lost our minds. We'll explain it all, and you can't miss it. So hang tight, folks. Let's dive in right now. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of every age and every belief. Welcome back to the place where we put the beliefs of Hollywood through the inspection of reality. Happy to do so each and every day here on the wdwpro channel, explaining entertainment, keeping you ahead of the culture curve. Today we are taking a look at the crowd levels of Walt Disney World parks and why it seems more crowded than ever before, but that might be an illusion. Let's bring on a panel of parks experts. You won't find this anywhere else. Let's dive in and see if you agree right now. We're going to talk about the crowds at Disney World. Now, this morning we came out with a video regarding the crowd levels at Disney and how we believe it's artificially generated. Today we're going to return to that because we have another example to show everyone out there. And that example is what's going on at Epcot. So join along, folks, as we examine why it seems crowded at Disney when it might just not be so. We are, of course, at the time of this recording on January 2nd, and it's still a holiday day at Disney World. In fact, it probably will be so until the marathon weekend coming up. And then the crowds will drastically reduce at Disney World as there's no longer a reason to be there until the big President's weekend. Now, take a look at this. We're looking at the wait times right now at Epcot. At World Celebration, once known as Future World, we have Disney and Pixar Short Film Festival, which just says open. Journey into Imagination with Figment, which was, I guess, the blueprint for Tiana's Rainforest Cafe Adventure on how to destroy an attraction, 25 minutes. Spaceship Earth at 30 minutes. World Discovery says Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind is open. We don't know what the wait time is there because of that drastic, dastardly virtual queue, which they'll use for Tiana's soon coming. Mission Spaces at 45 minutes. Test Track at 2 hours.
Wow.
Test Track presented by Chevrolet Single Rider is open. You all can read. We won't carry out through all of this, but what we really want to look at is we want to look at the total number of attractions at Epcot. Let's count along together, okay? And we're going to weed out the ones which are not really attractions. The Pixar Short Film Festival is a theater show. We'll count it. 1, 2, 3.
What? That's on Disney Plus right now.
Okay, so for those who don't know, they play Disney Plus content in a movie theater. You're right.
Yes.
Let's take it out. There's no reason to go watch it.
Where is that located?
You can watch it at home.
It's
next to
the at the Land, or
it's at the Imagination Pavilion. It used to be Honey, I Shrunk the Audience.
Oh, okay, all right.
So 2, 3, 4, 5. We're not going to count a single rider line. 5 attractions. Awesome Planet is Nat Geo, basically, video. We're not going to count that. So 6, and really Moana Splash Pad. By the way, remember when they did a virtual queue for this to hide the fact that it's not really popular?
Yeah.
It's open now. It's open, just open. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We'll count Turtle Talk. Canada Far and Wide, Circle Vision. Okay, 11. 12. Frozen's closed. We can't count it. 3 Caballeros. What are we at? 13? Is that where I'm at right now?
12,
Yeah.
13.
No, I wouldn't count that as an entire attraction unless all 3 Caballeros animatronics
Have
are
their
working.
heads
But
on?
I suppose we could work. We could.
I'm not going to count the Royal Summer House because that's connected to a restaurant. Okay.
Yeah, that's meet and greet.
And Remy, this is divided into 2. No, that's not 2. That's just
It's
1,
one.
so we're not counting that. So what do we got, guys? What's the total count? 13, 14 rides?
Yeah, something like that.
All right.
Something.
So in all of Epcot, there are 13 or 14 attractions available, depending on how you want to count it. 13 or 14 attractions. That's it. How do you make a park seem really, really crowded? You give it absolutely nothing to do except for people to walk around and eat
And
buy
stand
stuff.
in line.
Exactly. That is the problem. That is why when they talk about these huge crowd levels, we're here telling you they have cut down on what you can do inside the parks to such a degree that it seems crowded even when it's not. These parks handled vastly larger numbers of people in decades gone by. They had tons more to do in them. and they have eliminated, not increased capacity at the parks in our estimation. Gentlemen, your thoughts on the stories that have been coming out about how crowded Disney is versus what reality is on the ground?
I'm thinking back to what used to be. I mean, right at the beginning, you had the Studer Computer Review and that live polling thing just on the one side without all the hands-on exhibits and the build your own roller coaster on the one side of Communicore.
Yes.
You know, you had all of those auto shows after World of Motion. You know, the water engine and the leaning car and the wind tunnel and all those other things. You had oodles and oodles of things to do. Now you can wait for it to get dark and see how many lights light up in the floor.
Well, or you could drink around the world.
Yeah,
That's what they would prefer.
Yeah.
And they
there's so much booze now.
$12-14 a neutral green spirits and fruit juice drink.
Well, the statement that I saw about Epcot from a recent attendee was that at a certain point the park just turns into a local bar, and that's really kind of tragic when you think about. Oh, I see that they still have the old Communicore on this Google Earth map.
They do.
Yes, they do.
But
right.
Back when it looked like St. Peter's Basilica.
But
Jonas, to review this though,
they had the fountain as a drawing just now when you spun it around, but it's not.
Here was where the Fountain of the Nations was.
Yeah, right.
Jonas, how many attractions does Dollywood have?
Like 45 to 50, 60.
How many attractions does Disneyland, the original theme park, have? It's over 60.
Yeah.
It's over 60 attractions. I'm willing to bet you could fit 2 or 3 Disneylands inside Epcot, and it has 13 or 14 attractions. So if you want to know why the lines are long, it's because there's nothing to do. That's it.
And I said that when I first came to Disney World, being a Californian all those years of going to Disneyland. I said, well, Magic Kingdom is nice, but it's like 2/3 of the attractions on 5 times as much land. You know, especially
and by the way,
Tomorrowland, when you wandered through all those big empty plazas, I mean, empty the day I was there because I wasn't stupid enough to go during the holidays. But I said, wait a minute, you know, we have stuff here. There's nothing here.
So that had always been sort of the case, is that Disney, since the 80s really, had neglected Walt Disney World. But the reason that Walt Disney World was still able to function so properly and efficiently is because it was the best in terms of the ratio of conservative to moderate to liberal cast members. And so you had a great spectrum of folks working at Walt Disney, and it made it at Walt Disney World, and it made it highly efficient. And it was the crown jewel. They've largely now driven out the conservatives and the moderates of Walt Disney World Resort, and now it's sort of monolithic. And not only now is it deprived of proper budgeting and proper additions and proper attraction levels, but it also now has the problem of being monolithic in its thought. And the issue there is that, by the way, it would be the same if you just made something be conservative. It's very difficult for a company that's run entirely by conservatives to be highly creative. Conservatives are great at conserving and making sure that the rules are followed. Likewise, if you make a company just be based on liberal individuals, it's really hard to conserve what was great and identify what things need to stick around. And that's the issue right now, is that they have altered the workforce at Disney World dramatically. And now we're left with a Disney World that not only has nothing to do, but doesn't necessarily have the service that you're accustomed to whatsoever.
I would also add...
Wait, are you trying to say that an absence of capitalists means you're not going to make as much money because the other guys don't know how?
Yeah,
I indeed am suggesting such a thing.
The other thing I would add here is that the Imagineering used to come up with its own ideas, and they probably still do, except for Ollie, of course, the first new character to ever be created by a Disney attraction. That's a sarcastic statement for people who know who Ollie is. They have now had their hands tied, and they've basically said that you're not going to be creating any new IPs for the parks. The only things that are going to go into the parks are existing IPs that they want to monetize, because they want to, you know, another Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind, another, I don't know, whatever random IP they're trying to drive back into Disney Plus. So the days of getting a Figment or a Pirates of the Caribbean or a Jungle Cruise or any of these things where they said, we have a great idea and now we're going to make a ride around that great idea, as opposed to what they're doing now, which is we need Wish Ride number 2 and Wish Bar number 7. And we're going to put it on the cruise ship.
And the reason why they think that way is they've lost the skills to market original stuff. And they think, well, at least if it's based on this movie everybody liked or thinks they liked, it's easy to sell.
Right.
And
right,
yet,
as opposed to like Mystic Manor, where they take the idea of the Haunted Mansion, they say, you know what, this is not going to sell in the Asian markets because they have a completely different understanding of afterlife.
The spirit world,
there. Yeah. And so they make, and Mystic Manor is fantastic. I've seen the ride footage. It is awesome. I wish that they brought that to the United States. In fact, if you're going to be cloning things, Disney, here's one that you clone.
Along with everything at Disney Sea.
But if Bob Iger, drop the "it's too dang hot," change it to "it's too dang sparse." That's what you need to be saying about Disney World.
But right. Everything is geared towards, okay, well, we want to have a ride, and we're going to have a popcorn bucket, and they're just going to and insert the clip of Jeff Goldblum banging on the table in Jurassic Park. They've lost all creativity. There is no wonder left in these parks. No. These are people who hold the rights.
I mentioned this on one of the other talks we had a while back. When you have a real hit that people love, like Moana, and this is all you're going to do with it? Because you can't do something else. You've done it now.
And we're going to blame Chapek for that one, by the way. It's documented that Chapek was the one that said, yeah, you can do this thing, but it needs to have an IP attached to it. And so they just literally just add the words.
It was a bad idea in the first place. It was never a good idea.
No,
it was never a good idea to put another splash pad in. They already had a splash pad.
But even beyond splash pads, it's such a waste of an IP that is marketable, proven, popular. You know, I mean, as much as we can say about, and I really liked Maelstrom. I thought that was a wonderful, wonderful place before they ever brought Frozen in. At least they brought in a genuine hit, which I like the song. I hate the movie. But at least they brought in an IP that was, very marketable and made it work. And the lines for that when it opened, they're still going on, aren't they?
Yeah.
And Norway has never been the same. And ladies and gentlemen, that is a wrap for today. And now it's time for you to assess the class that was in session. Tell us, do you agree or disagree when it comes to the crowd levels? Are we making much to do about nothing or little? Or is there very little in the parks for people to do? How about that for a twist of the tongue? Also, folks, like, share, subscribe. When you click it, you stick it to the algorithm. It's the notification bell. Drop a comment down below. Let us know your thoughts. And don't forget that the Pro Show is live Tuesdays at noon Eastern Time, as well as That Park Place, the YouTube channel. They have a live stream Thursdays at noon Eastern. And did we fail to forget, or surely we didn't, Midnight's Edge, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. You add it all together, you've got a place to be at noon Eastern every single day during the week. Folks, we love it. We love doing it. We love making this stuff for you. Wherever you are and whatever you're doing, keep learning, keep growing, and keep having fun.